Up in the Great White North, racing is more alive now than ever. In 2007, NASCAR arrived in Canada. After the NASCAR Super Series drivers transitioned from NASCAR to NASCAR, it was a fresh start, new stats, and a new beginning. I'm Tyler from McMurder Sports Update, and today we count down the 10 best drivers from the NASCAR Pinty series since the series debuted in 2007. Number 10, Peter Shepard III. Peter raced part-time in NASCAR from 2003 to 2005. In that time, he started in 25 races and earned himself 8 top 10 finishes. When he learned about NASCAR crossing the border, he knew he needed to be involved. Peter raced part-time in the NASCAR Pinty series from 2008 to 2013, with the exception of 2009. In that time, Pete won 5 races and led 629 laps. The Brampton, Ontario native was quick to prove himself on the NASCAR scene, and I will never forget seeing him win the 2013 Clarington 200 on the old oval track at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park. That number 7 car was on a rail. Number 9, Jeff Lapsevich. Lapsevich tallied impressive statistics in the NASCAR Super Series. Jeff displayed a tremendous racing ability on both ovals and road courses. This made him a threat for the win at every track. 57 races, 6 wins, 13 top 5 finishes, and 23 top 10 finishes in the NASCAR Super Series. However, Jeff failed to reach victory lane in the NASCAR Pinty series. Despite his flawless ability to earn great finishes, Jeff was held winless in his years as a part-time NASCAR driver. 63 races, 18 top 5 finishes, and 43 top 10 finishes in the NASCAR Pinty series. These days, Jeff sits on the pit box helping his sons Caden and Trayton race. Caden won the 2016 NASCAR Pinty Series championship in his rookie season with 3 victories. Number 8, Jason Hathaway. Hathaway is one of the greatest drivers to ever put on the helmet. He won the 2001 Delaware Speedway Street Stock Championship. The following year, Hathaway won the 2002 NASCAR Rookie of the Year award. In 2007, Hathaway made his NPS debut like the rest of the NASCAR's best. He was held winless but earned 8 top 10s in 12 races. In 2008, Hathaway earned his first win in the series at Kawartha Speedway, which is perfect and very fitting because in 2016, not long after announcing his retirement from the series, Hathaway would go out and win his 9th career race at the same racetrack. If this truly is the end of Jason Hathaway's career, he will end it with 9 victories, 35 top 5 finishes, and 74 top 10 finishes. In 2015, Jason finished 2nd in the standings behind Scott Steck Lee. That's the closest to the NPS title that he ever got. Number 7, Alex Tagliani. Alex has raced part-time in the NASCAR Pinty series since 2007. Since then, Alex has tallied 5 wins and 27 top 10 finishes in his 45 career starts. Every year, he chooses to compete in the Indy 500 race. This causes him to miss the opening race of the NPS season every year, and therefore not a threat for the championship. Or does it mean that? In 2016, Tagliani raced in 11 of the 12 events, won 3 races, and finished 4th in the standings. Despite missing the 1 race, he was a major threat for the big trophy. To this day, Alex Tagliani continues to race in the NASCAR Xfinity Series and the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series part-time, as well as the NASCAR Pinty Series. Number 6, Louis-Philippe Domlin. LP Domlin hit the NASCAR scene with full force in 2009. In 2009 and 2010, he raced a total of 5 races and proved he deserved to be in the series. He finished 12th at his home track, Trois Rivières, on August 16, 2009, in his very first race. In 2011, he raced in 8 events, and this allowed him to be eligible for the Rookie of the Year award, an award he won with flying colors. In 2013, Domlin won both events held at the Canadian Tire Motorsport Park road course on his way to finish 5th in the NASCAR Pinty Series standings. The following year, in 2014, Domlin won 2 more races, earned 9 top 5s and 11 top 10s in the 11 events scheduled, and captured the 2014 NASCAR Pinty Series Championship. At the conclusion of the 2016 season, Domlin has 71 races, 4 wins, 30 top 5s, and 45 top 10s under his belt. Domlin has finished inside the top 6 in the standings in all 5 of his full-time seasons, and he's not done yet. Number 5, J.R. Fitzpatrick. J.R. Fitzpatrick is a name we used to hear lots when discussing the NASCAR Pinty Series. Now, you'll find him winning races in the OSCAR Series. But before leaving the NASCAR Pinty Series, he proved his talent as a driver. Consistency is what separated JR from nearly everyone. JR won at least 1 race in 6 of his 8 years in the NASCAR Pinty Series from 2007 to 2014. In his 7 full-time seasons, JR never finished worse than 7th in the final standings. In 2010, 2012, and 2014, he finished runner-up in the standings. He is the only driver to finish in the runner-up position in the final standings 3 times. In total, Fitzpatrick won 11 races, earned 43 top 5 finishes, and 64 top 10 finishes during his 89 NASCAR Pinty Series race run. With all these accomplishments, along with having 2,364 laps led, he's arguably the greatest NASCAR Pinty Series driver to never win a championship. Number 4, Don Thompson Jr. Don Thompson Jr. is one of the greatest Canadian race car drivers in history. Thompson won 5 consecutive NASCAR Super Series titles from 2001 to 2005. In his 9 years in NASCAR, he earned 8 wins, 53 top 5 finishes, and 67 top 10 finishes. As for the NASCAR Pinty Series, which is the series we are discussing, Don raced full-time from 2007 to 2011. In those 5 years, he tallied 7 wins, 32 top 5 finishes, 46 top 10 finishes, and 11 poles in his 63 career starts. In those 5 seasons, he never finished worse than 6th in the point standings. In 2016, Don Thompson Jr. was inducted into the Canadian Motorsport Hall of Fame. His 5 NASCAR Super Series titles, his 2 Canadian Eastern Championships, and the rest of his accomplishments behind the wheel of a race car will never be forgotten. Number 3, DJ Kennington. DJ Kennington is a 2-time NASCAR Pinty Series champion. Kennington and Hathaway are the only 2 NASCAR Pinty Series drivers to compete in all 121 races since 2007. In those 121 races, DJ has tallied 19 wins, 77 top 5s, and 101 top 10s. In 2012, Kennington set a NASCAR Pinty Series record by winning 5 consecutive races. Later that year, he was crowned a champion for the 2nd time, earning a total of 7 wins. He's scored at least 1 win on 12 different tracks. In his 10 full-time NASCAR Pinty Series seasons, DJ has never finished worse than 7th in the final standings. As the years have passed by, Kennington has learned that keeping the fenders and engine intact saves you money and wins you championships. As an owner-driver, Kennington chooses to not stick his front bumper in places deemed dangerous. This holds him back from winning races, but allows him to tally lots of top 10 finishes. Number 2, Andr Ranger. Ranger has earned impressive finishes in NASCAR's top 3 series. As for the NASCAR Pinty Series, Ranger has been dominant. 2-time NASCAR Pinty Series champion, 22 wins, which is the most all-time, and 54 top 5 finishes in his 95 career starts. Ranger holds the record for most NASCAR Pinty Series wins on a road course and most poles with 18. In all 10 MPS seasons, he has won at least 1 race. In his 7 full-time seasons, he has never finished worse than 6th in the standings. Ranger has victories in the K&N Pro Series East and West and top 10 finishes in both the Xfinity Series and the Truck Series. Number 1, Scott Steck Lee. Some of you might have seen this coming. Scott Steck Lee from Milverton, Ontario has some of the best numbers in NASCAR Pinty Series history. 4-time champion, 19 wins, most wins on an oval, most laps led, and best average start. 4,829 laps led. Wow. His career totals include 109 career starts, 19 wins, 66 top 5s, 82 top 10s, and 17 poles. In 2007, his NASCAR Pinty Series rookie year, Steck Lee won a race and finished 10th in the point standings. In his next 8 seasons, Steck Lee won 18 races, 4 titles, and never finished worse than 4th in the standings. When Canadian Tire stepped away from NASCAR as the primary sponsor, they stepped away from Steck Lee as well. After winning his 4th title in 2015, he decided to retire from racing and focus more on his racing team. Having drivers like Alex Tagliani, Brett Taylor, Kaz Grala, and Spencer Gallagher driving Steck Lee's cars has kept the spotlight on his organization. The 22 racing cars are favorites to win the race every weekend. And if you don't believe that, just ask Alex Tagliani, who earned 3 wins in 2016, driving part-time for 22 Racing. If you feel there's somebody I missed, or if your top 10 list would look a little different than mine, please leave a comment below. And feel free to subscribe to McMurder Sports Update for further top 10 analysis.